What's up, Rangers? Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve, and today I'll be going over the SH Monsterarts Destroyah special colored version. This is a video that is brought to us by our good friend Matt, because he decided to send us this figure. I'll show you guys once we get to the actual figure, but it had some issues. One big issue and one issue that I actually just can't solve, period, but it looks fine. But decided we'll do a video review because we haven't actually done this particular version, and I kind of wanted to do a video showing you guys the difference between the original, which is what I have, and the special colored version here, and which one you guys might want to pick up. So anyways, if you guys didn't know, this is from the film Godzilla vs. Destroyah, which is the last of the Heisei films. Really love those, especially in the monster. Like, Destroyah is an awesome monster, and I feel like collectible wise usually gets the short end of the stick, with a lot of the figures looking kind of okay. But with the Monsterarts one, I think it was the first one where it kind of was just like, wow, this thing could actually look sweet on a shelf. Because the Bandai's vinyls were like, they're fine, but nothing like extravagant, if you will. The X Plus is cool too. But I felt like the Monsterarts, like the original version, is sweet, but there's a couple of things about it that hinder it just a little bit. And at least from what I've seen, I think this one kind of solves a couple of issues. But anyways, without further ado, for its packaging, you get Destroyah on the front here doing pseudo roar, if you will, with the fiery, like, smoke background. Destroyah special color version, Tamashii Nation Bandai, 2017. None of the quality stickers on the package, because this is not something they did. Bandai Collector Shop exclusive, if I remember correctly. I don't think this one was the general release one. The bottom here, or top I should say, getting my ups and downsies all confused. Monsterarts Destroyah special color version. This side of the package, more special colors. Opposite, well, actually you get to see a little bit of the tail there too. It's kind of peeking up. Opposite side, more Destroyah, but in some black and whites. Back of the package just shows you Destroyah in some dynamic poses. Comes with 8 vehicles. God, it's just, why couldn't the original have 8 vehicles? I would love to have 8 vehicles. The only vehicles I got is like from what Burning Godzilla came with some in the vehicle sets or Toho Effect sets. These would have been sweet. Like, I would kind of wish they would just toss these in randomly with just some figures just for giggles. And some Lego Mumbo Jumbo on the bottom of the package. But anyways, let's get them open up out of its cardboard prison. Alright, so now we got the special color Destroyah open up out of its cardboard prison. First and foremost, it came with some accessories. Starting with these little vehicles. Alright, so I think I got the right ones here. This one is an MBAW93, and this one is the MBT92. Or what I just like to call little maser tanks, just in different varieties. This one has 2 barrels, this one has 1 giant barrel. These are already previously released little figures, but still pretty cool. Just to get them out of the way. Also, I really need to get a new review cloth for the table here. But they do still have a lot of really nice detailing on them, even a little bit of color variety with the barrels here, having a little bit of silver on the front. But for the most part, it's just a military green. Get some treads, nothing really too much else. They do rotate at the top here. One thing you gotta worry about is these are tiny, and these ones in particular haven't been through the best. But you see some of them still got a little bit of straightness to it. It's nothing a little bit of heat probably couldn't solve. And then with the more standard maser tank, get the metallic silver here for the front of the dish, and the top part here can rotate as well. Also can remove at least this one fairly easily. Then you get the wheels, 8 of them in total. Got some copyright information on the bottom. Really nice stuff. Like, again, I just kind of wish that this was like more things that we would just see with a lot more of the Godzilla figures, especially Heisei stuff. Because I feel like you just can't like have enough things to go along with your monsters. And to be fair, since they already got molds of these things, I think it'd just be something that's like a nice little inclusion you can add to make people happy without having to resculpt things and pretty much just invest more money into it outside of just the plastic. But again, just to show you guys, you do get 8 of them in total, which is actually be honest, pretty insane. Already kind of a nice selling point over the original Destroyah release. Alright, and then getting both of the Destroyahs, because for the most part, we've already sort of done this review before over up on Super Import Reviews. We did a review of the Destroyah figure here. I'm pretty sure the skip video for this one actually is up on this channel. But I do want to point out some of the primary differences, and then we'll briefly go over the Destroyah. Just so you guys can kind of see the closer details if you guys haven't saw it, but I'm not going to go over every little nook and cranny, but we'll still do the articulation and stuff. But primary differences between these is, as you can see, this Destroyah is definitely a lot more red than this one. Like, you still get a lot of the reds, but it's just the accenting reds, especially around the head here, a lot brighter on the original release. You can also see it kind of bleeds through in a lot of sections. This one's definitely a lot more, like, it has the reds, but I would say black is its more predominant color. It definitely hides and shades a lot of the reds on it. But I feel like the blacks kind of supersedes the reds on this guy in particular. Is the parts that are red, like especially the spiky bits here. You get some here. On the back here too, you can see like this one's super bright red. This one's a little bit more on the duller side, and I think that again just works a little bit better because where you want the red, it's definitely red, but then where the black is, it kind of helps to monotone the figure a little bit, which I think I kind of like because it gives it more of like an ashy look. Well, this one definitely has a little bit more eye-catchiness to it. So, color scheme-wise, especially for the body, I would say it's more of like a personal preference. The one thing I do like about this one in particular over this is you can see with the clawed sections, there's definitely a lot more detail on these on the original release, which I really liked. These are definitely a lot more matte, but you get some nice detailing around the claws there. But you get that kind of like extra little airbrush texturing at the base of the nail, which I always kind of liked. Same with for the chest section here. This one's actually a lot glossier than this one. Coloring's mostly the same, but the color they use for the detailing, and then they probably dry brushed the more orangish color over top of it, is definitely a lot more predominant on the original release than on the newer one. So that I kind of like on the newer one, because it's just, I don't know. It looks a little bit more bootleggy on this chest, more so than this. Like, this seems more akin to what I would expect to see. The wings, super red on here. This one, again, the black, especially here, kind of matte, monotones the wings. You do get some airbrushing here on the wings, so it gives a little bit more texturing. But it's just this Destroyah, just period, is a lot more of a darker color. The one thing I really like about this version, though, is it painted the eyes and the horn. As you can see, the original release, it's actually translucent plastic, which is cool. But I don't think it's quite right for the movie. For me, I would actually have liked to have seen like these eyes and the horn on this one. If this would have had, pretty much like, if I pop this head on, put this on here, perfect. This figure's 10 out of 10. So with that, and usually like, I think overall, I would say this is probably still the more eye-catching figure. But because the head sculpt is just so much nicer on this one, because even like the teeth, even have more detailing on them between the two. It's kind of hard to show on both of these, but you kind of see it still has the same kind of airbrushing around it. And I think just around the mouth is a little cleaner on this one than this one, because there's even like some excess paint right here. But that being said, eyes I think are some of the most important things on a figure. And with Monsterarts sometimes having the googly eyes, you can work with it by like articulating the heads and stuff. And not all figures seem to have those issues. But this one just being some yellow here, And then for the horns, I think kind of makes it stand out, and to me makes it a little bit more desirable. Like, I think I would much rather have this standing on my shelf than this one, but I don't think there's enough of a difference to where I feel like I need to go out after getting this figure and to do repairs to replace this one. Like, I still like this one overall. It's just kind of like, I wish I had the painted eyes and horns. It'd be great. And to be honest, it's like I could do it myself, but I kind of like, for the most part, keeping these guys the way they were from the factory. But if you guys are looking to pick one of these based off of just the figures, I'd probably lean more towards this one. And just to go over the figure real quick, again, head sculpt looks really nice. There is a couple little paint imperfections, especially around the mouth region here, which is a little sad, but nothing too crazy. Inside the mouth is painted very nicely. You even get the second row of teeth on the top. Horn, done a nice yellowing. Same with the eyes, which again, really like. I much preferred this over the translucent plastic, but again, I feel like that display ability wise is where this one kind of beats the original. But I still like the overall, like, I hate saying monotone, because monotone's like, it makes it seem like one color, because you can definitely see a lot of the reds in and out throughout the armor, but because of how much more ashy this one looks, it just makes it seem like it's more of a stagnant color when compared to the other one. But like by itself, looks like a Destroyah. Just a little bit of a darker color Destroyah. Like the chest piece still has the oranging to it. Claws, again, don't have the airbrushing around the base of the nails, but you do get a lot of the grime. And still the detailing inside of like the little crevices and the cracks of the nails, which I think is still really nice. And even looking at the arms, you get some color differences in between each of the jointed sections. At least on this arm here anyways. Should grab the right arm when I'm trying to show you guys. This one's a little bit more of the same color, but you do get a little bit of a color shift on this one. Same with the protruding bits on the shoulder here are in a blood red. Wings still look really nice. The one thing, if you guys haven't watched the touch-up video, is I actually had to repair this wing. So when I show you guys the articulation, this is how it's actually supposed to be. This one isn't going anywhere, but it's definitely limited. The other thing too I want to bring up here, if you guys are picking up this figure, is there's actually supposed to be an extra little wing here. So if you guys might have noticed earlier, but there's missing one little flap. It's one thing we noticed when he got this in, is this is actually just broke off. Thankfully, it's at least one of the wings that, or wing plates that you don't really notice it. Like, it's definitely not noticeable as go. Like when I got it in, I wasn't even thinking about it until got a little bit closer look, especially when I was working on the wing. Noticed that, so a little bit of a bummer, but at least it's nothing crucial. It's not like he's missing this section here and you're like, well, it's just gonna be kind of a gap there. Oh no. But you also get the little wings here on the bottom section here, which look really nice. Back at the Kaiju, definitely shows off a lot more of the reds here with the little bumpy plates coming down the tail here, where you get the little pincer at the end, which I forget if these are articulated. Looks like it. I forget. I haven't played with mine in a while. Oh, it does move a little bit. Okay, that's cool. So that does articulate, but still detailed very nicely. Same with the legs. Super duper beefy. Got all the claws all the time. And that's pretty much it. With some like, looks like little suckers on the bottom of his feet. For the articulation, head can look up about yay far, down about that far. Can look side to side. Also wiggle side to side. Mouth can open and close. Shoulder region has a nice rotation to it, and kind of move a little bit back and forth. It's got like two separate ball joints on the inside, so you do get a little bit of play with it. Same with the arms, can go about that far, straightens up about that far. You actually get quite a bit of rotation with it. Same with the fingers, can rotate individually as well. I say fingers, but it's actually just the nails can rotate. For the wings, can If I keep the shoulder still. Got a nice rotation to it. Go forward about that far. Gotta work it. It feels down about that far. Get back and forth for the wing here. You can also rotate a little bit. Each of these can move. I'm not going to play around with it too much, but you do get a little bit of adjustability with the wings. But super fragile, as you guys can see with the one missing there. For the chest section, not too much there. Not really forward and back. It's just kind of there. The wings back here can rotate, and you get a little bit of posability with them. Legs can go outwards about that far, inwards about that far. Can forward kick about that far, back kick about that far. Get a little bit of a bend at the knee, a little bit of rotation. Feet can rotate. Actually, pretty much all the way around. Get a nice side to side too. Like the feet on this guy was always super posable. And then the tail can straighten up about that far, bend up about that far, and get a really nice side to side as well. So for some quick comparisons here, we have the SH Monsterarts Special Color Destroyer compared next to some other SH Monsterarts figures with the Burning Godzilla and Godzilla Jr. And here is some more SH Monsterarts figures, well, sort of, with the Shin Godzilla and the actual Legion Creations bootleg SH Monsterarts Mothra 2019, which was a recent commission. And here's some random anime figures with the Gundam Universe RX-78 and the Dragon Ball Stars. I keep wanting to say Super because it's from Dragon Ball Super. Build-A-Figure Kale, which actually Matt sent to me to do this, and for the old Ultraman custom we also did. This recording might still be up on our Patreon currently. If it's well, it'll still be on Patreon, but it might also be up on our other channel, Super On Report Reviews, so make sure to go check it out. Hey, here's next to some SH Figuarts figures with Kamen Rider Black RX and Ultraman. Hey, here's next to some NECA action figures with the Ultimate Freddy vs. Jason and the Green Lantern, Yellow Lantern Predator from the Green Lantern 2-pack. So overall, for the special color version of Destroyah, this figure's pretty sweet. Now, is it 350-ish sweets is what it goes for now. Because I think upon original release, it was like 130, 150-ish. And you get the extra vehicles. So it's a little over double now. It's hard to gauge. Like, if you're missing it, it's not that horrendous. Granted, you can get the X Plus for that price. But if you guys are collecting Monsterarts, I think this one isn't that far out of the realm of price increases. Because it is a very hefty action figure. Like, this thing definitely has a lot going on with it. It's a very just weighty action figure. And also comes with accessories, which the original one didn't. So it being about double the price for it being a little bit of an older release, I don't think is that much of a pill to swallow. Like, the new King Ghidorah is going for about that price now, and that thing hasn't been barely out at all. And to be honest, I like this figure more than that one. Between the two Destroyers, I would definitely, if you guys can, I would probably go with this one. Actually, I should probably look up how much the actual original version goes for. I also want to bring up what I mean by that is what people are trying to get for it, not what you could possibly, like, what you possibly can get it for. Oh, the original release is way more expensive. Yeah, buy this one. 100% buy this one. Like I said, I like the color variety on the original a little bit better, but I do like the way that they did the head sculpt on this one with the yellow paint eyes. I think is really great. So between the two, and you also get vehicles. So yeah, just unless you're a completionist and need all of them, I don't really see a reason to pass up this one over the original. But what do you guys think? If you guys picked up this Destroyah, what's your favorite SH Monsterarts figure? Or is ever just more thing? Please let us know in the comments. We also have an Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook. If you guys like to keep up to date with the channel and donate, we greatly appreciate it. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button, subscribe, and come arrange your day. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.